Has anyone heard from Larry in the last 24 hours? I've been trying to reach him since yesterday evening, and he's not responding to any of my messages.
Nothing on my end. Last contact was during the daily check-in yesterday morning.
I spoke with him briefly around 1600 yesterday. He mentioned something about unusual readings from his ice core samples.
I haven't heard anything either. This is exactly how it starts.
What starts, Pyro?
The disappearances. You know that's why we're here in the first place. People vanishing without a trace.
Come on now, let's not jump to conclusions.
Yeah. Literally. His comms equipment could be malfunctioning. We've been experiencing some electromagnetic anomalies in the region after all. My weather monitoring systems have been glitching all week.
Or he could simply be out collecting more samples. He was quite excited about those readings.
Either way, it's against protocol to go dark for this long, especially when we're spread so thin across the research zone.
I told you all we shouldn't have separated the pods. Safety in numbers, but no one ever listens to me.
The research parameters require distance between sampling sites. We've been over this.
What was the nature of those unusual readings he mentioned? Did he share any specifics with anyone?
He was being rather cryptic about it, said he wanted to verify before making any claims.
Classic Larry. Always needs to be 100% certain before sharing anything.
Or he found something he wasn't supposed to. Something they didn't tell us about.
Pyro, please. Your conspiracy theories aren't helping right now.
Fine, but when I disappear next, don't say I didn't warn you.
What's Larry's pod location again?
Grid coordinates 78.43 south, 106.87 west, approximately 17 kilometers east of my position.
That puts him about 30 kilometers southwest of me.
And roughly 25 kilometers north of my location.
I'm the furthest at about 40 kilometers northwest. Should we try to reach his pod?
I think that's our best course of action, but we need to be systematic about this. I suggest we each take our snowmobiles and explore the sectors between our positions and his.
The weather's not ideal for extended travel. We've got a storm system passing through the region. Visibility will be compromised in some areas.
All the more reason to start searching now before conditions worsen.
I agree. If he's stranded somewhere with equipment failure, the dropping temperatures could be dangerous.
I don't like this, but I'll help search. Should we inform base camp?
Not yet. Let's not alarm them until we've made a thorough search. If we still haven't found him in 24 hours, we'll call in assistance.
Agreed. No sense in risking more people if it's just a comms failure.
I'm preparing my gear now. We'll head out within the hour.
Excellent. Let's establish an hourly check-in protocol. Message the group every 60 minutes with your position and status. If you miss a check-in, we'll assume you need assistance.
And what if we all disappear one by one? Just like the last research team?
Pyro, we don't know what happened to the previous team. That's why we're here conducting this investigation.
Right. Sorry. I just had another dream about the tentacles last night. It's got me on edge.
Not the tentacle dream again.
Maybe cut back on the chocolate before bed, Pyro.
Laugh all you want, but I've had the same dream 3 nights in a row. Something reaching out from beneath the ice.
Let's focus on the task at hand, please. Everyone, check your emergency kits and make sure your satellite phones are fully charged. We'll reconvene at our respective pods at 2000 hours if we haven't found anything.
Copy that.
Understood.
Lorenzo, can we talk privately for a moment?
Of course. You okay?
I'm concerned about more than just Larry's absence. Have you noticed anything strange about this whole mission?
You mean besides being sent to investigate mysterious disappearances in one of the most remote locations on Earth?
I'm serious, man. The briefing materials were uncharacteristically vague, and the company has been oddly hands-off since we arrived.
I did find it odd that we weren't given access to the full reports from the previous expedition. Just those heavily redacted summaries.
Exactly. And Larry, did you notice he seemed to have more information than the rest of us?
Now that you mention it, he did seem unusually prepared for someone who supposedly had the same briefing.
He's been secretive lately too. I caught him transmitting data on a frequency not listed in our communication protocols.
You think he's working for someone else?
No clue, but I think there's more to these disappearances than we've been told.
What are you suggesting? That the company knows what's happening out here?
I'm not sure, but I think we need to be extra vigilant.
Well, my instruments have been picking up some confusing electromagnetic fluctuations. Nothing I can explain with standard atmospheric models.
For now, just document everything and keep it between us.
Agreed. But if things escalate, we should bring Laine and Pyro into the loop.
Of course. I just want to have more information before we start a panic, especially with Pyro already on edge.
Fair point. His tentacle dreams aren't exactly helping morale.
Let's get ready for the search. I'll head out in 15 minutes.
Same here. And Schwartz.
Yes.
Be careful out there.
You too.
Before we head out, what exactly did Larry tell you about these ice core samples?
Not much, unfortunately. Just that he found anomalous organic compounds at a depth that didn't make sense.
Organic compounds. That's my field. Why didn't he consult with me?
That's what I found strange, too. He said he wanted to verify his findings before causing a stir.
That doesn't sound like the Larry I know. He's usually eager to collaborate.
I thought the same thing. He's been different ever since that solo expedition to the Western Ridge last week.
If he found biological material in the ice cores, I need to know what we might be dealing with.
If we find him, I'm sure he'll explain everything.
And if we find his samples but not him?
Then we bring them back for analysis. But our priority is finding Larry alive and well.
Yes, of course. I'm just trying to prepare for all scenarios.
I understand, and I appreciate your thoroughness as always.
I'll pack some basic analysis equipment just in case, and extra medical supplies.
Good thinking. I'll see you at the 1400 check-in.
Copy that.
All right, everyone. I'm heading out now. Remember the hourly check-ins, and stay safe out there.
Departing my pod now. Weather system is moving faster than predicted. Visibility might drop sooner than expected.
I'm leaving now as well, taking the southeastern route toward Larry's pod.
Just about to head out. Not looking forward to this, but I'll take the northwestern approach.
Perfect. That gives us good coverage of the area. If anyone finds any sign of Larry or his snowmobile, then alert the group immediately.
Will do.
Understood.
Copy that. If I go silent, assume the worst, though.
Let's try to maintain a positive outlook, okay? First check-in at 1400 hours.
Roger that.
Confirmed.
If I make it that long,
You'll be fine, Pyro. Just stick to the plan. Schwartz out. I've just returned to my pod. 3 days of searching, and not a single trace of Larry or his snowmobile.
Same here. I've covered nearly 200 kilometers of terrain in all directions from my position. Nothing.
Just got back to my pod as well. I'm exhausted and completely disheartened. It's like he simply vanished.
Pyro, are you back safely?
yeah, I'm here.
Any findings to report?
Nothing concrete, just a bad feeling.
Well, that's helpful.
Let's all get some rest and reorganize ourselves. I've been sifting through Larry's research notes in the central command pod. There's something interesting I found.
What is it?
Larry wasn't just studying the ice cores. He was actively researching the previous disappearances in this region.
What previous disappearances? I thought we were the first team to officially investigate this phenomenon.
That's what I thought too. But according to Larry's notes, there have been documented cases dating back to the 1950s, all within this specific region of Antarctica.
I knew it. I told you all something was wrong here.
What kind of documentation did he have?
Expedition reports, personal journals, even some classified military documents. I have no idea how he got access to those.
That's concerning. Speaking of concerning, I've been analyzing the weather data from the past week. There are massive disturbances and electromagnetic anomalies centered around these coordinates. They don't align with any known natural phenomenon.
What could cause something like that?
Nothing I've ever encountered in my career. The patterns are almost organized, as if they have purpose.
Purpose? Like intelligent purpose?
Hey, I didn't say that, but they're definitely not random.
I have something to share as well. I found some biological samples in the ice near Larry's last known location.
What, like animal cells?
That's just it. I can't identify them. The cellular structures don't come up with anything in the database. They're organic, but not somehow. Almost as if they're constantly shifting at the molecular level.
I can't take this anymore. The dreams are getting unbearable.
You mean more of your tentacle dreams?
Yes, but they're different now. Before, I just saw them reaching through the ice. Now they can touch me, god damn it! I can feel them on my skin when I wake up.
That's just stress, Pyro. And besides, we're all under immense pressure right now.
Have you been getting enough sleep?
How can I sleep with those things in my head?
Let's try to stay rational. We're scientists, after all. We need evidence, not nightmares.
Fine, dismiss me like you always do.
I'm not dismissing you. I'm just saying we need to approach this methodically. I propose we continue our original research while investigating these anomalies and Larry's disappearance.
Do you think that's wise? Perhaps we should contact headquarters and request evacuation.
With what evidence? A missing colleague, unpredictable weather, unknown biological samples, and dreams? The company will just replace us with another team, and we'll never know what happened to Larry.
Laine's right. Without concrete evidence of danger, headquarters won't authorize an evacuation, and we'll be replaced.
So what do we do?
I suggest we continue for one more week. Share all findings related to the disappearances. Pool our resources and expertise.
I have an idea. What about Larry's personal pod? Has anyone thoroughly searched it?
I looked through his research notes, but I didn't go through his personal belongings.
That could be considered an invasion of privacy.
Privacy? The man is missing, possibly dead. And you're worried about privacy?
Pyro does has a point. Larry might have left behind clues in his personal effects.
All right, do you want to take point on that, Pyro?
Me? Why me?
Because you suggested it, and frankly, you seem the most invested in finding answers.
Oh, okay. I'll check out his pod tomorrow, but I'm not going alone.
We all have our research to continue, and we're spread thin as it is.
I need to investigate these electromagnetic anomalies. They could be related to Larry's disappearance.
And I need to run more tests on these biological samples. If they're as unique as they appear, they could be groundbreaking.
So I'm on my own? Great.
You'll be fine. Just keep your satellite phone charged and check in regularly.
If I disappear too, at least you'll know I was right.
No one's going to disappear. Just be careful and thorough. Schwartz, are you sure about this? Sending Pyro alone seems risky.
Oh, trust me. I know, but we need to cover all bases. And honestly, his paranoia might make him more thorough.
Or it might cloud his judgment. Those dreams he's having, I'm worried about his mental state.
Me too, but what choice do we have? We're already one person down.
I suppose you're right. What do you make of those electromagnetic anomalies?
I'm not sure, but they remind me of something I was working on before this assignment.
Which was?
Temporal physics. Specifically, theoretical models of time dilation in extreme gravitational fields.
You think this is related to time somehow?
I don't know, but the patterns you showed, they resemble mathematical models of temporal distortion.
That's unsettling.
Keep this between us for now. I don't want to add fuel to Pyro's fire.
Agreed. I'll keep monitoring and send you any new data.
Perfect.
Do you believe me now about the dreams?
Pyro, I never said I didn't believe you. I just said we need more than dreams to act on.
But you feel it too, don't you? Something watching us?
I feel concerned about a missing colleague and the unusual phenomena we're experiencing.
Last night, in my dream, the tentacles wrapped around Larry, and then they became Larry.
What do you mean, became Larry?
They took his shape, wore him like a suit, but I could still see the tentacles moving beneath his skin.
Well, that's disturbing imagery, but dreams often process our anxieties in symbolic ways.
This wasn't symbolic, it was a warning.
Look, just be careful tomorrow at Larry's pod.
I'll try, but if I find evidence, real evidence, will you believe me then?
Of course, that's how science works. Evidence leads to conclusions.
Science. I'm not sure science applies to what's happening here, but I'll find your evidence, then you'll see.
Morning check-in. Anyone have updates to report?
I'm here, and unfortunately, yes.
Present. Also with concerning developments.
Preparing to head to Larry's pod now. Should arrive in about 30 minutes.
I'll start then. I've been analyzing the ice core data from our initial collection sites. There are temporal anomalies I can't explain.
Temporal anomalies? Like time dilation?
Something like that, yeah. It seems that there are sections of ice that chronologically don't make sense. We have samples from 800 meters deep that date more recently than samples from 200 meters.
How? Ice layers form chronologically. Deeper should always mean older.
Exactly. Yet the dating is consistent across multiple testing methods. It's as if time itself is folded within the ice.
See? Everything we continue to discover just keeps on proving me more right.
I have troubling news as well. The electromagnetic disturbances are intensifying. My equipment can barely get reliable readings anymore. The interference patterns are destroying our meteorological database.
Can you isolate the source?
That's the strangest part. It seems to be coming from everywhere and nowhere simultaneously, as if the laws of physics are breaking down around us.
My findings are equally disturbing. I've cultured those cellular samples I collected. They're multiplying, but not in any pattern I recognize. They seem to ignore basic biological laws, sometimes splitting, sometimes merging, and occasionally disappearing completely before reappearing elsewhere in the culture.
Disappearing? Are you certain?
I've recorded it happening multiple times. I'm running the video through analysis software now, but yes, I'm certain.
I'm approaching Larry's pod now. We'll report what I find.
Be careful, Pyro. Document everything.
I've entered Larry's pod. It's absolutely freezing in here.
The heating system must have failed.
No, that's the thing. The system is running at full capacity. I checked the temperature gauge. It reads 24 degrees Celsius, but I can see my breath. It's even colder than outside in here.
That doesn't make sense. Check for structural damage. Maybe there's a breach somewhere.
No visible damage, but there's frost on the interior walls. Holy, I just found Larry's research journal. The entries are something to say the least.
What do they say?
The first few entries are relatively normal, standard observations, data collection notes. But about a week ago they change. He starts writing about watching eyes in the ice. Says he feels like he's being observed constantly. Then he mentions time slipping. Says he'll wake up and hours have passed, but his watch only shows minutes.
Psychological distress can cause time perception issues.
This seems different. Wait, I found something on his computer. Hidden files. They were buried in a system folder, but I managed to access them.
What kind of files?
Research documents, but not from our expedition. These are classified government files, dating back decades.
What's in them?
Oh my goodness! You're not going to believe this. They detail research about an ancient entity believed to inhabit this region, something that's existed here long before human exploration. The documents suggest it's capable of temporal manipulation.
Just like we found.
Exactly. And get this, according to these files, Larry wasn't just a researcher. He was specifically sent here to confirm the entity's existence.
Are you certain these files are genuine?
They have government classification markings, digital signatures. Everything looks legitimate. There are diagrams too. Larry had drawn them all over his walls.
Those look like tentacled creatures.
Yes, they're the same creatures from my dreams, Schwartz. The exact same.
Try to remain calm. Is there anything about the previous disappearances?
Yes, the files suggest this entity doesn't just kill people, it absorbs them somehow, incorporates them into itself. What the hell? There's a knocking coming from the pod door.
Maybe it's just the wind, or ice shifting.
No, it's rhythmic, deliberate, like someone's out there.
Pyro, none of us should be out there.
The door's opening, but there's no one.
Pyro, can you hear me? Pyro, respond immediately.
What happened? Did he cut out?
His message was interrupted mid-sentence. Pyro, if you can read this, please respond.
Maybe his equipment malfunctioned? With all the electromagnetic disturbances Lorenzo reported.
Possibly, but the timing is concerning though.
Try calling his satellite phone.
Already attempted that. No answer.
Oh crap. First Larry, now Pyro.
Hold on there. It could just be a simple equipment failure.
We need to check on him. Who's closest to Larry's pod?
I am. About 15 kilometers.
I'm at least 30 kilometers away.
And I'm even further, nearly 40 kilometers from that location.
I'll go. I can be there in under an hour if I leave now.
I don't think that's wise. 2 team members have already gone missing at that location.
Schwartz is right. We should stay back. Wait for Pyro to re-establish contact.
And if he doesn't, do we just abandon him like we're apparently abandoning Larry?
We're not abandoning anyone, but rushing in without a plan could make things worse.
I have a plan. Go to Larry's pod, find Pyro, bring him back. Simple.
Please reconsider. At least wait a few hours. See if Pyro makes contact.
And if whatever took Larry and potentially Pyro comes for me next, no, we need to act now, while we still can.
Laine, I'm ordering you as the expedition leader to stay at your pod.
With all due respect, Schwartz, you may be the expedition leader on paper, but we all know this situation has moved beyond standard protocols.
At least take proper precautions. Set your satellite phone to continuous broadcast, so we can track your position.
And take extra power cells for your equipment, if these anomalies are draining energy somehow.
Already packing everything I might need. Extra rations, first aid kit, sampling equipment in case I find more biological evidence. And I'll report the moment I reach Larry's pod.
Just don't become the next victim, Laine.
I'm heading out now. Wish me luck?
Be safe, Laine, and come back to us.
I'm about halfway to Larry's pod, and it's already not looking great. My compass is going haywire as we speak. The needle is spinning nonstop. I'm navigating purely by GPS now.
That aligns with the electromagnetic anomalies I've been tracking. They seem to be intensifying in your area.
It's not just the compass. The sun...
What about it?
I know this sounds crazy, but it's jumping positions in the sky. 1 minute it's at my 2 o'clock, then I blink and it's at 10 o'clock, then back again.
No way. Unless
what?
Unless the temporal anomalies are affecting light itself.
I also can't shake the feeling that I'm being watched. It's getting stronger the closer I get to Larry's pod.
That could be anxiety, given the circumstances.
No, this is different. It's like a physical pressure. I can feel eyes on me from every direction. I'm about 5 minutes out from the pod now. I've arrived. The pod door is wide open. It's just swinging in the wind. No sign of Pyro or his snowmobile.
Be careful going inside. Maybe check the surroundings first.
I'm going in. Dear God.
What is it?
This doesn't make any sense. Everything is decayed, rusted, rotted, like the pod has been abandoned for months.
Huh? But Pyro was there just hours ago.
Exactly. But the evidence is right in front of me. The computer equipment is corroded. Papers are yellowed and crumbling. Food supplies in the kitchen area are completely molded.
Are you sure you're in the right pod?
Absolutely certain. It's Larry's pod. His ID number is on the exterior, but it looks like it's been abandoned for months, maybe years.
Send photos. We need to see this. This is crazy. The level of oxidation on that equipment would take weeks at minimum.
And the paper degradation, that's months of exposure.
Yet Pyro was here this morning, reporting everything was normal except for the cold.
The temporal anomalies in the ice cores, the strange electromagnetic readings, the cells that appear and disappear. I think we're dealing with something that can definitely manipulate time itself.
You mean like accelerate it in localized areas?
Or decelerate it, or bend it entirely.
That could explain the disappearances. What if people aren't being taken physically? What if they're being taken temporally?
Pushed out of our time stream?
Or aged to dust in an instant.
Goodness, I found something. There's a waterproof case hidden under a loose floor panel.
What's inside?
A hard drive, and it looks intact. I'm connecting it to my laptop now.
Can you access the files?
Yes, decrypting now. There's so much here. This isn't standard research data either.
What is it then?
Reports, mission parameters. Larry wasn't just a researcher. He was an operative.
An operative? Like a spy?
Sort of. He worked for some organization. The files refer to it as the Foundation. They investigate anomalous phenomena.
What was his mission here?
To confirm the existence of something he called the Chronovore. Holy crap. According to these files, it's an entity that exists across multiple temporal planes. It feeds on people. It doesn't just kill them. It erases their timeline, creates temporal dead zones where time decays rapidly. That's why the pod is in this state. Time is literally rotting around it.
Jesus Christ. Does he mention how to defend against it or escape it?
I'm looking. There's so much information here. Got something. He has theories that it can only perceive beings who are aware of it. That's why it took Larry first. And then Pyro, after he discovered Larry's research.
So by learning about it, we've essentially painted targets on our backs?
That seems to be the case, yes. Uh-oh.
No. Laine, please don't say there.
There's something outside the window, dude. Do you see it?
Is that a tentacle? Laine, you need to leave. Right now.
Get out of there immediately.
But this is our chance. I could get closer. Get better photographic evidence.
Absolutely not. That's probably how we lost Pyro, and possibly Larry.
But I'll keep my distance. Just enough to get clearer photos.
Laine, please.
With respect, shut your mouth. I'm a scientist. We need evidence. I'll be careful. I promise.
Laine, as your expedition leader, I am ordering you to take the hard drive and return to your pod immediately.
I'll compromise. I'll step outside. Take a few photos from a safe distance, and then head straight back. We need this evidence. Otherwise, headquarters will never believe us.
Good enough, but no closer than 100 meters.
Understood. I'm going to secure the hard drive in my pack. Then step outside. I'll be right back. I've got visual on the appendage. I'm keeping my distance as promised. About 100 meters away. Something strange, though. It appears to be growing larger.
Growing or moving toward you?
I literally cannot tell. I'm maintaining my distance. But with each step I take around it, it seems to expand somehow.
Good God.
That's the thing. From my current position, it looks maybe 3 meters high, but I swear it was smaller a minute ago. I'm going to circle around slightly, get a different angle. Oh my God, it's massive. What you're seeing is just a small part. It's like an iceberg. Most of it is below the surface.
I'm checking the satellite imagery of your position. I don't see anything there, just ice.
I'm looking at the thermal scans too, nothing registering.
Well, then the machines are obviously broken, because I'm telling you it's right in front of me. It must be at least 100 meters across now.
Laine, if it's that big, we should be able to see it from our positions. I think you need to retreat immediately, and we'll run some mental checks on you.
You don't understand. It's warped somehow. Parts of it seem to exist and not exist at the same time. Some tentacles are moving too fast to track. Others are barely moving at all, like they're in slow motion.
The temporal distortions. It must exist partially outside our time stream.
I'm taking a few more photos, then I'm getting out of here.
Laine, get back to your snowmobile now. We have enough photos.
Crap, yeah, you're right. I'm going now. It's starting to move in my direction, or expanding toward me. It's difficult to tell the difference.
Run, Laine, and don't look back.
Right. What the hell is going on? I'm back at Larry's pod.
What? I thought we told you to run.
And I was running away, and suddenly I'm here again. But the pod, it's normal now, not decayed at all.
Oh, hell no. You literally just sent us photos of it completely rusted and decayed less than an hour ago.
No kidding, but now it's pristine, like nothing happened. Crap! That thing has picked up the pace. It's racing towards me.
Get to your snowmobile.
On it now, starting it up. You have to be kidding me. It won't start. The engine is turning, but it's like it's moving in slow motion, and the creature is getting closer.
Laine, leave the snowmobile. Try to run. Find anywhere to hide.
I don't think it would matter where I run. It's not coming closer. It's pulling time toward it. I can feel my past being...
Laine? Laine, respond immediately.
Oh God, we've lost her too.
No, she might still be there. Her communications might just be affected.
Like the others? We have to face facts, Schwartz. 3 team members gone.
I'm trying her satellite phone.
Any response?
Nothing. I'm checking her transponder signal too. It's gone. No signal at all.
What do we do now?
I genuinely have no clue. If this thing can manipulate time and exists partly outside our perception, I'm not sure how we fight it.
We need to contact headquarters. Request immediate evacuation.
Agreed. I'll send the emergency signal now.
Dr. Schwartz and Dr. Lorenzo, do not attempt to contact your headquarters. The situation has been classified.
Who the hell is this? How did you get this number?
I represent the SCP Foundation, a classified organization that deals with anomalous entities. We've been monitoring your situation.
SCP Foundation? That was mentioned in Larry's files. Laine found them before she...
Dr. Lester Reynolds, codenamed Larry, was our undercover operative, sent to investigate SCP-2764, the temporal anomaly entity responsible for the disappearances in your research zone.
You knew about this thing, and you sent us in anyway?
Your research expedition provided the perfect cover for our investigation. We needed to confirm the entity's existence and capabilities. Dr. Reynolds was supposed to gather data without alerting the entity.
Well, your operative is gone, along with 2 other members of my team.
We are aware. We've been monitoring the temporal distortions. A containment team was already en route, but I regret to inform you that half that team has also been temporally consumed.
Jesus Christ. What exactly are we dealing with here?
SCP-2764 appears to be a multi-dimensional entity capable of manipulating localized temporal fields. It doesn't just kill its victims, it erases them from the time stream, consuming their past, present, and future simultaneously.
Are you saying our colleagues are...
They've been removed from our timeline, which is why no bodies are ever found. The only physical evidence of their existence remains in areas outside the entity's influence.
How do we stop it?
Currently, we don't believe you can. I'm ordering immediate evacuation. Extraction teams will arrive at your respective pods within hours. Pack only essential personal items and research. Be prepared for immediate departure.
And what about the entity?
The Foundation will implement containment protocols once you're safely extracted. New teams with specialized equipment are being prepared.
What about our colleagues? Is there any way to get them back?
I'm not authorized to discuss recovery possibilities at this time, but I will tell you that temporal displacement is not necessarily permanent. Now, please confirm you will comply with evacuation orders.
Do we have a choice?
There's always a choice, Dr. Schwartz, but consider that 3 of your colleagues have already been taken, and the entity appears to be growing stronger. The more it consumes, the more powerful it becomes. Your chances of survival diminish with each passing hour.
I understand. We'll be ready for evacuation.
Excellent. Remain in your pods. Do not approach the entity under any circumstances. Evacuation teams will contact you when they're nearby.
What do you make of this Agent Solder person? Do we trust them?
I'm not sure. Their information aligns with what we've discovered, but I don't like that they knew about this entity and sent us in anyway.
Agreed. But at this point, evacuation seems like our only option. We've lost 3 people already.
I'm not so sure. Can we really just leave? Abandon Larry, Pyro, and Laine?
Schwartz, don't turn on me now. Be reasonable. Did you see what happened to them? What exactly do you think we can do against something like this?
Actually, I might have something.
Which is?
Remember I mentioned I was working on temporal physics before this assignment?
Yes.
Well, it wasn't just theoretical. I've been developing a temporal anchor technology. It's a modified engine that can create a localized, stable time field.
You brought experimental technology to Antarctica without authorization?
It was just a side project, something to work on during downtime. But now, I think it might be our only chance against this thing.
How would it even work?
If this entity manipulates time, then perhaps we can counter it with a device that stabilizes time. Create a field it can't distort.
That's an enormous leap, Schwartz. From theoretical physics to fighting an interdimensional monster?
Do you have a better idea?
Yes. Follow evacuation orders from the professionals who actually know what they're dealing with.
The same professionals who sent Larry in here to die? And then us after him?
You're going to get us killed too.
Maybe, but I can't live with myself if I don't try. I owe it to our team. Agent Solder, I'd like some more information, please. Have there been previous attempts to contain or neutralize this entity?
That information is classified.
Our colleagues are inside that thing, so with respect, please don't give me the classified excuse.
Very well. Yes, there have been previous containment attempts, all unsuccessful.
What methods were tried?
Conventional weapons had no effect. The entity exists partially outside our temporal flow. How do you shoot something that exists in multiple time frames simultaneously?
What about unconventional methods?
We've attempted temporal stabilization fields, dimensional anchors, even tried to lure it into a contained space. But its ability to manipulate local time makes conventional containment impossible.
Interesting. I have a theory. What if we created an infinitely accelerating vortex?
Explain.
The entity manipulates time, right? Stretching it, compressing it, perhaps even folding it.
Correct.
But infinity is a mathematical constant, even in warped space-time. If we could create a paradoxical infinity point, a vortex that continually accelerates beyond physical limits, it might disrupt the creature's ability to manipulate that area of space-time.
That's an interesting theory, but highly speculative.
It's completely untested and potentially dangerous.
More dangerous than doing nothing. Besides, I've actually been developing something along these lines.
You have?
A modified hyperdrive engine. Designed to create a stable temporal field. I believe it could be adapted to create the vortex I'm describing.
The Foundation would be interested in such technology, but we have no evidence it would work against SCP-2764.
Do you have a better option?
Currently, no.
I've been analyzing the data from our sensors, and from the electromagnetic anomalies I've been tracking, there's a pattern to the disturbances. The entity isn't moving randomly.
You can predict its movements?
To some extent, yes, despite its temporal abilities. It seems to follow a consistent pattern through physical space, almost like a feeding pattern.
This is extremely valuable information, Doctor. Lorenzo, our previous tracking attempts failed to identify any pattern.
That gives me an idea. If we can predict where it will be, we could set a trap.
What kind of trap?
I can modify my snowmobile with the experimental hyperdrive. Create essentially a temporal bomb. We remote pilot it directly into the creature. When the engine reaches critical velocity, it should create the infinity point I described.
And if it works?
Best case scenario, the paradox disrupts the entity's temporal field, forcing it into a single time frame, making it vulnerable.
And worst case?
Nothing happens. Or we create a localized temporal collapse.
A what?
Essentially a small black hole, but composed of collapsed time rather than matter.
That sounds catastrophic.
The effects would be contained to a limited area, maybe a few kilometers.
The risk assessment is concerning, but given our lack of alternatives, how long would you need to implement this plan?
A few more hours to finish modifying the engine. Then we'd need to position it correctly.
I can delay the extraction teams and provide technical assistance if needed.
Are we seriously considering this?
Unless you have an alternative suggestion, Doctor. Lorenzo, this appears to be our best option. Conventional containment has failed repeatedly.
Lorenzo, we need your tracking data. Can you pinpoint where the entity is likely to be in 24 hours?
Technically, yes, but I'm not comfortable with this plan.
Noted. But will you help?
God damn it, fine. Yes, I'll help.
Then it appears we have a strategy. Dr. Lorenzo will track and predict the entity's location. Dr. Schwartz will complete the temporal drive modifications. I'll coordinate resources and ensure extraction teams are ready, either for emergency evacuation or to retrieve you after a successful operation.
And hopefully, to retrieve our missing colleagues as well.
I wouldn't get your hopes up about that, Doctor Schwartz. But yes, if they still exist in any recoverable form, we'll do everything possible to bring them back.
Then let's get to work. I'll begin modifications immediately.
I'll compile all the tracking data and establish a prediction model.
I'll inform command of the new plan and requisition any additional resources you might need. Good luck, gentlemen. You're going to need it.
I've set up enhanced monitoring equipment around my pod, calibrated to detect even the smallest electromagnetic anomalies. Not that size should be a problem, but regardless, this should give us a more precise tracking system.
Excellent. How's the prediction model coming along?
Getting there. I've compiled data from all our sensors plus the historical patterns, running it through simulation software now. If there's a pattern to this thing's movements, we'll find it.
The Foundation is providing additional satellite coverage, though previous attempts to track the entity from orbit have been unsuccessful.
Because it exists partially outside our time frame?
Precisely. Conventional imaging only captures fragments of its physical presence.
I think I can compensate for that. By filtering the data through temporal distortion algorithms, we might not see the entity directly, but we can track the disruptions it causes in the surrounding environment.
Smart approach. Meanwhile, I've started modifying the temporal drive. I've had to cannibalize parts from several systems, including the pod's main life support.
That sounds risky.
It is. Gives me about a 36-hour window before the pod becomes uninhabitable, but I don't have other options for the specialized components I need.
Jesus, Schwartz. Make sure you leave yourself enough time to be extracted if this fails.
Noted, but it's not going to fail.
I need to share some classified information. Now that we're proceeding with this plan, you should understand what we're dealing with.
We're listening.
SCP-2764 is believed to be ancient, potentially predating human evolution. The earliest recorded encounters date back to Norse expeditions, but indigenous legends suggest it has been here much longer.
A question has been bothering me. Why Antarctic? Why is it here specifically?
We believe it's drawn to minimal temporal disturbance. The Antarctic has remained largely unchanged for millennia. Few humans, minimal technology, consistent environmental conditions. It creates a sort of quiet space in the temporal landscape.
Like how some creatures are drawn to darkness or silence.
An apt analogy. There's something else you should know. If your plan fails, Headquarters is considering implementing Protocol Kronos Omega,
which is
a scorched earth approach, using experimental weapons to essentially quarantine the entire research zone by creating a permanent temporal barrier.
You mean you'd sacrifice this entire region?
If necessary, yes. The entity has been growing in strength. If it expands its range beyond Antarctica, the consequences would be catastrophic.
Then I guess failure isn't an option. I'll get this drive working.
Schwartz, I think it's getting to me. I keep seeing shadows, always just out of the corner of my eye. And sometimes, for just a split second, everything around me looks aged. The walls decay, the equipment rusts, then it snaps back to normal.
Similar to what Laine described at Larry's pod. Crap. We really don't have much time then. Stay focused on the tracking system.
Right. I just don't want to end up like the others.
You won't. We're going to stop this thing, and maybe get them back. Update on the modifications. I've successfully integrated the temporal drive into the snowmobile's engine. The principle is based on creating a self-reinforcing loop, where the engine's acceleration continually feeds back into itself, theoretically generating an infinite velocity curve.
That should be impossible according to conventional physics.
Conventional physics doesn't account for artificial temporal manipulation. I'm essentially creating a paradox, a machine that moves faster than it physically should be able to.
I have news too. The prediction model is complete, but it's not giving the most exciting results. I must say, the entity appears to be converging on your location, Schwartz.
My location? Are you certain?
I am. It seems to be moving in a spiral pattern, getting closer to your pod with each rotation.
This changes things. We may need to accelerate our timeline.
The drive isn't fully tested yet. I need at least a few more hours.
You might not have hours. At this current speed, the entity could reach your position within the next 90 minutes.
Then we go with what we have. I can program the snowmobile's automated guidance system from here, have it target the entity's predicted position.
I can provide those coordinates, but we'll need to adjust in real time. The entity's movements aren't perfectly predictable.
Understood. I'm making final preparations now. Agent Solder, what's the status on the extraction teams?
They're on standby, ready to move in as soon as the operation is complete, or immediately if the situation deteriorates.
Good. Lorenzo, I need those coordinates.
Sending them now, uploading to the shared server. But Schwartz, there's a problem. The entity moves erratically, sometimes faster than our sensors can track.
How erratically?
Enough that an automated system might miss. The guidance system would need to make micro adjustments, faster than your programming could account for.
Then we have a serious problem, because if it misses,
The entity would likely consume the weapon, potentially growing even stronger.
I was hoping it wouldn't come to this, but I see only one solution.
Which is,
I'll have to drive it myself.
absolutely not. That's suicide.
Not necessarily. I can pilot it close enough to ensure accuracy, then jump clear before impact.
The risk is unacceptable, Doctor. Schwartz, we can't authorize such an action.
With respect, I don't see that we have a choice. An automated system will miss, and we don't have time to develop a more responsive guidance system.
There has to be another way.
If you can think of one in the next 10 minutes, I'm all ears. Otherwise, I'm getting on that snowmobile.
Dr. Schwartz, the Foundation cannot condone this course of action.
Agent Solder, with all due respect, this entity has taken 3 of my colleagues. It is apparently ancient and unstoppable, and if we fail, your organization plans to sacrifice this entire region. So forgive me if I'm not particularly concerned with what the Foundation condones right now.
Schwartz, please reconsider, mate. If you die...
If I die, but the entity is neutralized, that's a trade I'm willing to make.
Your courage is admirable, but practically speaking, the chances of you surviving this are minimal.
I know, and I need to ask a favor, Agent Solder.
What is it?
I'm sending you some personal messages for my family. If I don't make it back, will you deliver them?
Yes, you have my word.
Thank you. Lorenzo, I need you to guide me. Keep tracking the entity and direct me toward it.
God damn it, Schwartz. This is mad, but... fine, I'll do it.
I'm activating the temporal drive now, running final diagnostics. It's go time. I'm on the move. The temporal drive is active, but not yet at full power, heading toward the last known coordinates.
Receiving your position. All right, bud. Just keep heading northeast for now. The entity is approximately 3.2 kilometers from your current location.
Satellite imagery is coming online. Though as expected, we can only see the distortion effects, not the entity itself.
Visibility on the ground is decent, but I'm already noticing some irritating light refraction, almost like the air is bending inwards on itself.
That aligns with the temporal distortion field. So hold on tight. You're approaching what appears to be a dead zone.
Define dead zone?
An area where time flows differently. Sensors indicate extreme temporal variance, similar to what Laine described before she disappeared.
Noted. I'll try to navigate around it.
Dr. Schwartz, are you recording visual data?
Yes, helmet cam is active and linked to my phone, though not sure how much use it'll be with the time distortions.
Schwartz, adjust your course. 15 degrees to the west. The entity is moving.
Roger that. Adjusting course now. Aha! I think I see something.
Can you describe it?
It's difficult. It keeps changing. One moment it looks like tentacles. The next it's like a hole in reality, a shifting void.
That matches previous descriptions. The entity doesn't maintain a consistent physical form in our time frame.
Getting closer now. The temporal drive is starting to react. Readings are fluctuating.
Schwartz, I'm noticing something in the pattern. When you approach directly, the entity seems to disappear and reappear elsewhere.
Like teleportation?
More like temporal displacement. It's jumping forward or backward in time, just enough to avoid direct contact.
So a direct approach won't work?
No, but there's a pattern to the jumps. I think I can predict where it will appear next, rather than tracking where it is now.
That could work. Tell me where to position myself.
Based on its movement pattern. Head to coordinates 78.44 south, 106.91 west. I believe it will materialize there within the next 3 to 5 minutes.
On my way. The temporal distortions are intensifying, though. My instruments are gonna struggle.
Can you still navigate?
Yes, but it's getting harder. GPS is flickering, and my watch is practically useless. The seconds aren't passing uniformly. Sometimes they speed up, sometimes they slow down or even reverse.
You're experiencing temporal bleeding. The entity's influence is affecting your immediate vicinity.
I'm at the coordinates. No sign of the entity yet, but the air feels heavy, like gravity is fluctuating.
Hold position. My calculations indicate it should appear soon.
Something is definitely happening. I'm experiencing time stretching, like I'm living the same moments repeatedly, but also seeing flashes of events that haven't happened yet.
This is consistent with proximity to the entity. Your perception of time is becoming non-linear.
It's disorienting, hard to focus. There, I see it. It's materializing about 200 meters ahead.
That's it. My prediction was correct. Are you in position to make your approach?
Yes, activating the temporal drive now. Full power.
Satellite sensors are detecting an enormous energy surge. The temporal distortions are amplifying.
I'm accelerating toward it. The drive is creating the infinite acceleration field. Reality is warping around me. It feels like I'm falling through time itself. The entity is reacting to the drive. It's trying to shift away, but the field seems to be interfering with its ability to teleport.
Stay on course. You're disrupting its temporal manipulation, just as we theorized.
It's not easy, like driving with one hand through a hurricane. I'm about 100 meters away now. The entity it's just downright hellish to look at, and much larger than I thought. 50 meters. I should be preparing to jump, but...
But what? Schwartz, you need to jump before impact.
I won't make it. The temporal field around the snowmobile is too intense now. If I jump, I'll still be caught in the collapse.
Then abort. Turn back.
Too late for that. The reaction is already past critical. The infinity point is forming.
Dr. Schwartz, is there anything we can do?
No. This was always a one-way trip. I think I knew that, even when I said I'd jump.
Schwartz, damn it. This was supposed to be you surviving.
Sometimes the price of discovery is high. That's the bargain we make as scientists. 20 meters now. The entity is trying to escape, but the field is holding it in place. It's beautiful in a way, like watching the birth of a star, or the death of one.
I'm so sorry, Schwartz. It wasn't supposed to end this way.
Don't be sorry. This is the work we chose. The pursuit of knowledge, sometimes into the darkest places.
The Foundation will remember your sacrifice, Doctor Schwartz. Your family will be taken care of. I give you my word.
Thank you. The drive is reaching infinite acceleration. I can feel time fracturing around me, past and future bleeding together. For what it's worth, I'll try to jump at the last possible second, though the odds aren't great.
Whatever happens, it's been an honor working with you.
Likewise, Lorenzo. Take care of yourself. I need to focus on the impact now. Goodbye. Time to lock the hell in.
Schwartz? Schwartz, do you copy?
We've lost his signal. All readings from his location have gone dark.
Is he...
Unknown. The temporal distortions are restricting us from getting any clear readings. But the entity, something has definitely happened to it. The pattern of distortions has changed dramatically. It's either been neutralized or significantly affected by the infinity point.
And Schwartz?
We have to assume that Dr. Schwartz was caught in the temporal collapse. I'm sorry.
This all better have been worth something.
Extraction teams are being deployed to assess the situation and to retrieve you, Dr. Lorenzo. We'll know more soon.
It's been 4 hours. Still no sign of Schwartz. Entity readings have completely disappeared from my instruments.
The Foundation team is reporting similar findings. The temporal anomalies have reduced by approximately 87%. It appears the plan may have worked.
But at what cost? I'm still scanning for any sign of him.
The extraction team should reach the impact site within the next hour. We'll know more then.
Hold on. I'm picking up something. It's a signal. Very weak, but definitely there. It's coming from the impact zone.
What kind of signal?
It's Schwartz's satellite phone. I'm positive. I recognize the frequency.
Can you establish communication?
Trying now. I'm getting text fragments, messages, but they're not making sequential sense.
Approaching entity now. Beautiful infinity point forming. Tell my wife I love her. Did it work? Can anyone hear me? Before impact, remember to adjust the calibration, seeing time fold in on itself. The tentacles are reaching through the past. I'm still here, but also there. Lorenzo, if you're reading this, the temporal displacement is. It worked, but I'm scattered.
Are you seeing this?
Yes. They appear to be from Dr. Schwartz, but from different points in time.
Some seem to be from before the impact. Others might be from after, and some make no chronological sense at all.
This could be a result of the temporal implosion. Time itself may have shattered around the impact point.
But does this mean Schwartz is alive?
Or they could simply be temporal echoes, fragments left behind by the collision.
We need to know for sure. Can you get a drone there faster than the extraction team?
Yes, we have a reconnaissance drone approximately 12 minutes from that location. I'll have it diverted immediately.
Thank you. I need to know what happened to him.
Drone is en route. ETA 11 minutes.
I'll continue monitoring for more signals.
Drone has arrived at the impact site. Beginning survey. Transmitting feed to your station now.
Receiving. What the hell am I looking at?
The footage is inconsistent. As the drone circles the site, the landscape appears to be changing.
That's insane. In some frames, there's nothing there, just untouched snow. Then suddenly there's a massive crater.
And there, did you see that? Freeze frame at 1428.3.
Oh my god! That looks like a human figure, frozen in the ice.
Now look at 1428.9.
Tentacles? They're still moving.
The entity may not be completely neutralized, or what we're seeing could be temporal residue, moments captured from different timelines.
Wait, go back. Frame 1428.17, enlarging that section.
Is that?
It's Schwartz. He's walking away from the impact site.
How is that possible?
I don't know, but we need to redirect the drone. Follow him.
Redirecting now. The drone is moving to intercept the figure, but
what?
He's not moving normally. Watch. He seems to be jumping, disappearing from one spot and reappearing several meters away.
Like he's skipping through space or time.
Confirmation. Facial recognition confirms it is Dr. Schwartz.
So he's alive.
His life signs are unusual. The drone's biometric scanner shows his heartbeat is arrhythmic, sometimes not registering at all, then suddenly appearing again.
Like he's phasing in and out of our time stream.
I'm diverting the extraction team to his coordinates. Though approaching him may be hazardous, the temporal distortions around him could affect the team.
They have to try. We can't just leave him out there.
Agreed. The team has been briefed on the risks. They'll attempt recovery with temporal shielding equipment.
How long?
Approximately 3 hours to reach his position, if he remains in the same general area.
I'll keep monitoring. Maybe I can establish communication somehow.
Be careful. Any interaction with temporal anomalies carries risk.
Noted, but he's my colleague. I have to try.
Recovery team has visual on Dr. Schwartz, moving to secure him now.
How's he doing?
Physically intact, but exhibiting severe temporal dysphoria, responding to questions before they're asked, and sometimes not registering them until minutes later.
Have they made physical contact?
Yes, successfully retrieved. No adverse effects on the team, which is unexpected but welcome.
Thank God.
They're setting up a secure communication line now. It should be stable despite his temporal fluctuations.
I can't believe he survived.
I'm not sure survived is precisely the right term, but he does exist and appears to be stabilizing somewhat. Communication link established.
Lorenzo, you there, buddy?
Schwartz, how are you feeling?
Better. Still experiencing time, strangely, but I'm starting to stabilize. The rescue team gave me something. Temporal stabilizers, they called them.
Can you tell me what happened with the entity?
It worked. The temporal drive created an infinity point, just as I theorized. When it collided with the entity, the infinite acceleration field forced the creature into a temporal singularity.
You destroyed it?
Yes. It existed across multiple dimensions of time. The implosion collapsed all those dimensions, forced its entire existence into a single point in space-time, like compressing a 4D object into 1D space. It couldn't maintain cohesion.
But how did you survive the implosion?
I didn't. Not exactly. The implosion scattered me across time. Fragments of my consciousness experienced different moments simultaneously. I'm still putting myself back together.
But you're physically intact. The drone footage showed you walking.
Yes, my physical form wasn't destroyed, just temporally displaced. I experienced the impact, and also the moment before, and the moment after, all at once.
Is the entity really gone?
Yes, but time takes time to heal. What you're seeing in the drone footage are temporal echoes, fragments of reality that haven't fully realigned yet.
So we did it. We actually stopped this thing.
We did, though I admit, I didn't expect to be here to discuss it.
I can't believe you risked everything like that.
It was the only way, and now I understand what I experienced in that moment. Time isn't what we think it is. It's not a river, it's an ocean, and we only ever see the surface.
The rescue team says they're bringing you back now. Agent Solder has promised full medical support.
Good. I think I'll need it. I'm still seeing flashes, moments that haven't happened yet, and moments that never will.
Just hold on. We'll get through this. Together.
Dr. Schwartz, it's good to hear you're in a stable condition. Medical team reports your temporal dysphoria is gradually subsiding. Both of you are being transported to our facility in separate vehicles as a precaution.
Where exactly are we going?
A secure SCP Foundation research and containment facility. Precise location is classified for now, but I can tell you it's designed to manage anomalous entities and events.
Like our tentacled friend?
Precisely. The Foundation investigates, contains, and studies phenomena that fall outside conventional scientific understanding. Phenomena that could potentially threaten humanity.
And Larry worked for you?
Dr. Reynolds was one of our field researchers, yes. He specialized in temporal anomalies, which is why he was assigned to investigate SCP-2764.
Why the secrecy? Why not just tell us what we were dealing with from the start?
The Foundation operates on a need-to-know basis. Most civilians aren't prepared to accept the existence of anomalous entities. It would cause widespread panic.
So you let us walk in blind? Cost 3 of our team their lives.
I understand your frustration, but Dr. Reynolds was supposed to assess the situation first, determine if intervention was necessary. Nobody expected the entity to be as powerful as it was.
What happens to us now?
You'll both be debriefed at the facility. Medical teams will continue monitoring Dr. Schwartz's condition, and we'll discuss next steps.
Next steps?
Your experience with SCP-2764 is invaluable. Few people have encountered such an entity and survived. The Foundation has a particular interest in both of your expertise.
Are we prisoners?
No, you are not being detained, but given what you've witnessed, there are limited options for your future.
Meaning?
We'll discuss all of this in detail at the facility. For now, rest. You'll arrive in approximately 4 hours.
Schwartz, how are you doing?
Better. The temporal slips are less frequent. Now maybe only once every hour or so. It's like I'll suddenly be experiencing a different moment, then snap back to the present.
Sounds disorienting.
It is, but the medical team says it should continue to improve. How about you?
Physically fine. Mentally, processing. I still can't believe what happened, or that you survived.
I'm not entirely sure I did. At least not all of me. It's hard to explain.
Try me.
It's like I'm mostly here, but parts of me are still scattered. I catch glimpses of other timelines, other possibilities.
Like what?
Versions where I didn't survive, or where the entity consumed us all, or strangest of all, timelines where none of this ever happened, where we're just normal scientists doing normal research.
Do you think those other timelines are real?
After what we've seen, I'm not sure we can say anything isn't real anymore.
Fair point. Ever since the entity was destroyed, I've been having strange experiences too.
What kind?
Sometimes I hear voices, like messages in my head. I think they might be from Larry, or Pyro, or Laine.
What are they saying?
It's fragmentary, not complete thoughts, but I get impressions, like they're still out there, somewhere.
We have some preliminary findings from the impact site I thought you should know.
Go on.
The temporal anomalies persist, though diminished. Drone footage continues to show more inconsistencies. Each pass reveals different scenes. The most significant discovery is what you see here.
Are those bodies?
Yes, they appear and disappear with each drone pass. Sometimes we see what appears to be Dr. Reynolds, other times Dr. Pyro or Dr. Laine, and still others show individuals identified as missing persons from previous expeditions.
So the entity was holding them somehow.
That's one theory. We've also analyzed tissue samples from the site. The results are disturbing.
How so?
The entity's biological material contains human DNA, very specific human DNA, matching your missing colleagues.
What are you saying?
We have two competing theories. First, the entity incorporated its victims into its own structure, absorbed them physically and temporally. Second, and potentially more concerning, the entity was capable of perfect mimicry, down to the genetic level.
So it could have replaced any of us, and we wouldn't know.
Exactly. It would explain why it was never detected despite taking multiple victims, and why the disappearances were so complete.
This is far worse than we imagined.
Yes, but thanks to your actions, the entity has been neutralized, which brings me to our next topic. The Foundation would like to offer both of you positions
Positions?
within our research division. Your first-hand experience with SCP-2764 is invaluable, and you've both demonstrated exceptional capabilities under pressure. Dr. Schwartz, your work with temporal physics, and Dr. Lorenzo, your analytical abilities and pattern recognition. These are precisely the skills we need.
What exactly would we be doing?
Investigating other anomalies, developing containment protocols, advancing our understanding of phenomena outside conventional science. You would be well compensated and given access to resources beyond what any university or private lab could offer.
And if we refuse?
You would be administered amnestics. Your memories of the incident would be modified, and you would be returned to your previous lives. Though I should note, in Dr. Schwartz's case, complete memory modification might not be available. Given his current temporal condition, you don't need to decide immediately. Take some time to consider the offer. You'll arrive at the facility soon.
So, what do you make of the job offer?
Honestly, I don't see how we could go back.
To our old lives?
After what we've seen, how could we just pretend none of this happened? Go back to university research, knowing what's really out there.
I keep thinking about Larry and Pyro and Laine. If we join this foundation, maybe we could find a way to help them, if they're still out there somewhere.
That's what I was thinking too. Plus, they'll need someone who understands temporal physics to make sense of what happened.
So you're accepting?
I think so. You?
I am. I can't walk away from this. Not after everything we've lost. excitement.
I wonder what other anomalies they've found. Things that defy conventional science.
Probably best not to imagine until we have proper clearance. Though I'm betting time-bending tentacle monsters are just the beginning.
Almost certainly. Medical team says I'm being cleared for discharge. My temporal slips are now down to once every few hours, and they believe they'll continue to decrease.
That's great news.
It'll be good to see you in person. It's been a while since we were face to face.
Indeed. Hard to believe everything that's happened since. Agent Solder tells me we'll be meeting with the research director tomorrow.
Nervous?
A little, but also excited. Despite everything, this could be the beginning of something important.
I had a flash earlier, a glimpse of a possible future.
What did you see?
United States, working together, in a lab filled with things I couldn't begin to describe, but we were making discoveries. Important ones.
Was it a good future?
I think so. We looked tired, but purposeful.
Then I look forward to it. Here's to new beginnings, and to Larry, Pyro, and Laine, wherever they are.
To our colleagues, and to understanding the mysteries we've only begun to unravel. I'll see you soon, Lorenzo.
See you soon, Schwartz.